which is that after 40 years of filmmaking, I still haven't made a comedy, but I won't give up, you know, to the grave. Anyhow, this once again is a pretty grim piece, and the only reason well, that's what I'm good at. I like to have a laugh, but what I'm good at is to make people, whatever, scared. The only reason I wanted to introduce it, because the movie should speak for itself, it's like decades ago. But I would like you to look at it. This is a journalist going to Beirut, Lebanon, during the war, civil war in 1980, or actually 1980 we shot it. The action is set in 1977, and it's based on a novel which you won't believe probably when you see the movie. What I would like you to think is, say you're a journalist or a filmmaker, you're married, very young family, 2, 3 kids, maybe 2, 3 years old, 4, and you're kind of for television or for writing or as a photographer about, you know, well, what are you going to report about? What you see, or what people would like to hear and to read about at home, and what's interesting to the media? There's your first thing. What you'd really like to talk about maybe is, you know, how far you got about your thinking about the divorce, and what's really on your mind is everything else but the Arab world. But you learn pretty fast. There's the Shiite group, there is the Sunnis, there is, in that case, now it's in the north, that ethnic, in Lebanon it would have been some other ethnic somewhere in the background, always lingering, the Israel-Palestine conflict. But what you see is the body count, you know, tonight this ambush, and then this group ambushed that group, and then you do this. And you have the feeling while you report on things you have seen forever on television, always, again and again and again. And anyhow, this is the dilemma poor Bruno Ganz is facing in this picture. And fortunately, there's Hannah Shigula as well, who will kind of be his, how do you say, le repos du guerrier, the soldier's repose. Impossible.
So he
yes.
went to
okay, enjoy the show. I'll see you later.
Yeah, all these people who are under the protection of the protection of the dark left us here for smoking, peeing, or going to the happy bar probably. So we will all note them. Yeah, let's be
very brief.
One comment, right? Because that is what I'm doing. I'm the memory of all the evenings. So we have now the second evening. Bruno Ganz is really a great German actor. But Rocco, he ain't.
No. It was supposed to be.
Right. And the other commentary is, yesterday we had this discussion about obscenity, what is obscene. Right. And I couldn't see any hell or obscenity yesterday. I could see a lot of obscenity and hell today in your movie.
I protest.
Yeah, it's okay, but that is my commentary. You say your movie. But it's not that you have done an obscene movie, but you have portrayed something which we are more and more feel which is something like that should not exist. And okay, but then we say everybody who does it should be shot, you know, then we are in the same situation.
Exactly.
Again, so maybe it should be drugged. I would suggest give some ecstasy and then and no weapon and anymore.
You know, we tried to make love, not war 30 years ago.
Yes.
It didn't work either.
But it was only us, and all the others, you know, the older guys didn't do it, you know. That was the trouble. Okay, but anyway, let's go in the discussion. I just help you because I know the people, you know,
we'll be very brief. We're all exhausted.
Just a brief comment. Was it your intention to make a film about what seemed to be an orgy of death and and journalists as vultures, it's not a criticism, it's just, it's an observation that it was that your intention? That's question number one. Question number two, if you were to make a film and set it in Iraq, for instance, or Afghanistan, what would it look like? Would it look anything like what you made here?
That's why I put the question in the beginning. I thought it would be probably the same movie. And the sadness of it is there's 20 years or 25 years between, and in between there has been Sarajevo and Bosnia, and not to speak of what's going on in Africa we don't even know about, you know. Now, so that's the second question. The first question is, I don't think that the journalists revel in whatever hell, violence, or whatever. We are sending them there to feed us. We are the cannibals. We want every night on TV fresh flesh. And even though the images more and more are the same, the people who die each time are different ones, new ones. And it is I mean, since this innocent little shot where he looks out the window and the sniper says, no, which one do you want, the one on the left or the right? And if he hadn't been there with his photograph, the guy maybe wouldn't have got shot. But that's like an innocent thing as compared to what's going on in the war of the media now. You know, if it wasn't for the media, the guy wouldn't have got his throat cut. If it wasn't for the media, I mean, many massacres wouldn't be perpetrated. The massacres are perpetrated not in the dark, but only when media are present, because the multiplicator is necessary to bring that out into the world. Once there is, I mean, this is highly philosophical, and we worked on that today as good as we could without being really professors of philosophy. It all starts with Plato and the Republic. We are violent people. So we have to hand over the violence, the Gewalt, the power, to a state, to a neutral authority, which we control through parliament and through institutions. If we don't do that, different factions in the country where the state is not strong enough to keep the monopoly of violence, so to speak, then different factions grab a portion of that Machtmonopol, and they set up their own, try to get as much of the cake of the country, and now they have to set because this is just the warlords. The populations are not yet against each other. The populations have to be manipulated into hating each other, and therefore you perpetrate massacres. Not in hiding secretly, no, in the open with the cameras there so that the others know, look, you know, we throw your babies into boiling water and we killed and we did, so that no reconciliation between the different groups is possible anymore.